Welcome to the Virtuos Codev Blueprint. I'm Ludovic, and I'm joined by colleagues from our Virtuos Studios across Europe, including Virtuos Labs Lyon, Virtuos Labs Prague, and Volmi. Virtuos is one global company that provides specialized co-development and engineering expertise, and our EU studios are at the heart of this conversation. We are breaking down how we can rapidly deploy specialized talent to meet the relentless demands of continuous content delivery. Our teams need to grow quickly, deliver content efficiently, and maintain stability across the globe. Our theme for today is how to scale content on demand. And before actually we crack on, I would like to give the microphone to my guests to introduce themselves and to introduce also their studio. Laetitia, do you want to start?
Yeah, of course. So, hello, I'm Laetitia Bourges, and I'm working for Virtuos for 3 years now in France at Lyon, including 2 years as a lead software engineer. Virtuos Lyon is specialized in engineering tasks, especially in research and development on a proprietary engine and developing custom tools, remasters, and we are working whether on computers or consoles. We work on the remaster of Beyond Good and Evil, and we help working on New World from Amazon Games, and that's 2 examples.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. Nazar, do you want to introduce yourself and your studio?
Yeah, my name is Nazar. I am based in Kyiv, Ukraine, in Volmi studio. I'm working with Virtuos for 4 years and working in Volmi for 5.5 years already. We specialize on basically on any art work that can be possibly imaginable, meaning 3D, 2D work, illustrations, marketing art, animations, literally anything. That can be VFX, even sounds, technical art, everything art related, end-to-end or distributed development. Also, we do create some video games for our clients, so we can do either engineering, games full development, or just distributed development or art or engineering. And the cases I can remember, the recent ones, we worked on some level work with Starbreeze Studios on Payday 3, the biggest level on the game. We worked a long time and still working with Epic Games on Lego Fortnite mode. We worked with King on Candy Crush Solitaire game, and recent cases Slytherin Warhammer Battle Sector. That's strategy game.
Yeah, so thank you, Nazar, for the introduction of yourself and the studio. Hey, Zdenek, what about you and your studio?
Hello. So I've been programming for more than 20 years on a professional basis since finishing university. And for the last couple of years, I worked for the recently new studio that was established by that time, which is called Virtuos Labs Prague. As it is lab, we are specialized mostly on technical part of things. To say. So what we do here is that we are focused on AI graphics rendering, I would call it. Apart from that, we have really strong UI team here, but they also are a bit architectural focused. So they use different UI frameworks even on the top of either regular engines that are Lego Engine, Unity, and so on. But also it's possible to build the stuff and even back to networking and AAA graphics rendering, all the stuff it's possible to do in any proprietary engine.
Okay, so any projects that you can mention actually Prague work on?
Yeah, so we were involved in the New World Atherum game that Laetitia already mentioned. I actually was also personally part of it. It was just UI optimization, which was very interesting.
So thank you all for this presentation. I can see that the few projects that we can talk about, or at least mention, was like really top projects. And I can see also that the specialization, the expertise of each of the studio, which actually link to my very first question to you all, is how do you see the benefit of having specialization, expertise from one studio to another to actually benefit the scaling of a project and to act quite fast on specific topics? How do you envision that? Is it like a good thing, or should we have in each studio like generalist people? What's your take on it?
I can answer if everyone is okay.
Sure.
For my opinion, Virtuos has the chance to be composed of different studios, each having their own strengths and specialization, and it allows us to create teams that are that correspond to the needs of a project. We don't have only specialized developers, we also have a lot of generalist developers. But the idea is to always have at least one expert on each big subject of a project in the team. So those experts will be able to have a vision of the topics and lead the team on it, help them share their knowledge, anticipate risk, and with their experience give solutions. So having some experts help a team to have a better velocity and a better quality and limit the issues we can have on the project. So it's also important to have some generalist people that can work on any topics, but having some specialization help to have a better quality on the project. And also, we sometimes have some teams that evolve all along a project because the needs of the topics are different at the beginning and at the end. So I can give an example for the project I'm working on it currently. We start with a lot of needs in development and UX, and then the design of the UX designer is done. So we onboard more UI developers from Prague. We are in collaboration with them, and now the team is half on Lyon and half on other studios. So we are able to adapt the team depending on the needs and with the expertise of every studios.
I hear you. So is it like something like in terms of organization and structures the same at Volmi and Prague with specialists and, let's say, generalists, or is it a bit different? Who want to take this one?
It's totally different, but I think at the same point, Virtuos is one of, not one, but the strongest competitors on the market of outsources, just because it has many different studios inside, not the big one. Because we have, first of all, very cool systems that reflect who is capable of doing what. Second thing, we have very simple connection line between us all. So I can reach Paris, I can reach Dublin, I can reach any studio and just chat about, like, guys, I have this big project. Do you have people who specialize on VFX? Seniors, and I will always get some people. Also, we have very cool vertical management system where I can push some request up and it will go down to other studio. So it is very cool because right now it's it's not very simple, but it's much simpler to take bigger entity and bigger project. It's much simpler to commit in front of the client that you are capable of doing end-to-end work. You're not thinking that, oh my God, I don't have like state of VFX seniors and I don't know where to get them. I need to think of it. No, we have management, we have other studio, we have colleagues, we can reach them very simply, as I said, and just ask. I'm interested of providing some art services, for example, to Paris Studio. Paris Studio is interested to take some good quality art services. And the main thing here is trust between the studios. For me, I know that Paris management is capable of managing its own engineers without me micromanaging or interfering the production process. So when I seek for, let's say, AI development, engineering, Unreal Engine team, some guys that I don't possess in Volmi. So I can just talk with producer, give him some work, he will estimate it and we'll just go. I do not need to manage that team. I do not need anything. We'll literally have some few procedures to go and we're good. So to conclude what I said, it's the biggest leverage point to convince our clients that we provide the best service on the market, because we don't reach people we don't know. We don't reach specialists we're not sure of. We always know what we are doing and with who we are dealing. And one more thing, we have all time zones in the world, literally. Are you European client? Okay, we can go with Europe. We have all services here. Asia, easy. USA, always easy. So as fluent as we are, nobody is in the world. Hope I answered this one.
That's a very good point, Nazar, communication. Actually, I will come back to this specific point after hearing from Zdenek about the structure of Prague. Is it like more, let's say, Virtuos Lyon with specialists and generalists, or is it more like Volmi with probably more specialists? How does it work at Virtuos Prague?
Yeah, basically, we are quite a small studio, as we started only a couple of years ago. There's around 50 people here now, over 40 of developers, which is great. But even in this number of 40 plus people, it's difficult to cover all the aspects of game development. So we rather focus on what's possible to achieve here, and what we in general can get here, the guys we can hire here in Prague are basically covering the areas I mentioned previously. So there's quite a good university with a faculty covering graphics programming, for example. So that's why we are focusing on that, or that's one of the reasons. And we have here also a couple of really networking specialists with years and years of experience, successful experience, or successful achievements. So these guys basically share knowledge here as well. And we have a couple of other generalists, but most of the people are really not generalists. Most of the people are happy to focus on something and be really good and specialized in certain areas, one or two areas. So basically for us is also good, same as Nazar said, for us is good to really improve our qualities in certain areas rather than try to cover everything, which is not possible.
Yes, that's super interesting. The approach that each of you has on the topic, and also the structure of the studio. I would like to come back to what you mentioned, Nazar. It's the communication. So when scaling globally across different time zone and also culture, I would like to ask you. It has like a communication rule or a tool or something that you absolutely need to set up to succeed, let's say, in the communication, and to be, let's say, adaptable and to scale depending on what you can receive from different studios or also from clients. What is the rule, the thing that is super damn important for you guys?
As usually in any communication, trust, respect, especially your colleagues. We're all in the same boat, I should say. The main thing I always teach, like my producer team also, we're not just separate Volmi Studio, we're a whole Virtuos team. So treat each other as part of your team, and guys who are you helping with, or try to be as helpful as you possibly can be. Proactiveness also very good thing on our work, because game development is by itself is a very chaotic thing. So if colleague is reaching you out for the help, it's obvious that the colleague can't handle something by himself, and you should be as helpful and as proactive as you possibly be. Also, I don't know, like public corporate culture which we seek. I love it in Virtuos. It's very nicely done comparing to many competitors that we have. So I'm sure, like at morning and 6 a.m. for example, at morning, that I have something broken, I can reach my colleague and we will figure out a solution. That's the main thing that leverages and helps me to communicate and reach more and more people. And as I said before, simplicity of systems. I can easily look who I'm chatting with, where's person from, does it have time, does they have the time zone that suits them, send a call and always receive a reply. That's awesome.
Yeah, so from what I hear is the trust, the let's say the company culture, the bonds also that you create with people, the tools also in terms of communication and to reach people quite fast and efficiently. Is this something that you share also, Laetitia and Zdenek? What is your take about what would be the rule, to manage the communication, time zone, cultures, and all?
Well, what I say to people here in Prague is, if you talk to someone, talk to them in the manner that you would like to be talked to. That works pretty well. Anyway, on the top, what Nazar was saying about, what I really appreciate is the channels we have here among the studios, among the technical people in the studios. There's a channel where if we bump into something here in Prague and we are really not familiar with it, but we need to quickly solve it for customer, it's just a side effect of something we bumped into and customer needs to fix it. The most efficient way we realized is just to ask other people on the, let's say, technical leader level of the studios if they have such an expert who can help us. And my experience is that in less than 24 hours, you either get someone to help you with, or you get even the answer or suggestion how to tackle the stuff you bumped into. That's would help us to actually live with the fact that we cannot have all the specializations here in the Prague.
That's super interesting how you start your point, Zdenek, by saying that address people the way that you would like them to address you. It sounds super simple, but sometimes the simple things are coming after you mentioned 20 plus years of experience. So what about you, Laetitia? The communication rule, it can be anything from a tool, maybe? I don't know. What is your take on this?
An important thing for me with experience is that message on Teams or other tool are important to share information between everyone, especially when we are not all in the same time zone. But sometimes when we start to share too many messages and there is some incomprehension, it's always important to be able to do some call meeting to discuss, because sometimes in message we have some issues or misunderstanding between people, and it's sometimes quicker to take decision and exchange on ideas with meetings. So we always try also when we can in Lyon to have a regular meeting with the client and other studio we are working on. Sometimes it's not possible, but we already have some project where we have some dailies with the client, so quick meeting each days where we are able to discuss about what we do and issues we have, and they will be able to give us some solutions. So it was very interesting to work like that and very helpful for the team. So my opinion is that message are a good way of discussion, but when it's needed, don't hesitate to do some call meeting and exchange directly with the people.
I hear you. So yeah, communication again is key. Well, this is a marketing guy talking also, so I can't disagree about that. We talk here about the communication flow, the tools, and a little bit of if I can say so, philosophy with Zdenek. With all the flow of messages and maybe also last minute requests and all, and sometimes you have like a big client like coming to you and saying, hey, we need this done. So how do you actually prioritize? How do you actually align about what you must do now, later? Because from my side, there's a lot. We are like more than 20 studios in the world. Many projects that we've worked on so far. How do you prioritize and how do you manage actually maybe requests coming directly from clients if it happens?
Yeah, because sometimes clients ask directly developers, which is not ideal. On each of the project, we have a producer, and this producer is person responsible for this to basically help engineers or developers in general to organize the project. So they basically discuss with developers on our side, they discuss with customers, then that's the producers of particular projects who actually takes the last decision what needs to be tackled. And as you mentioned between the lines, it's basically not an issue that is something is not achievable. And if you talk to customers and if you talk to developers, but specifically if you talk to customers, you realize that you can easily, most of the time, you can easily make consideration which of the stuff can wait and which of the stuff really needs to be tackled right now. It's better than try to tackle everything in the same moment. And yeah, so we protect our programmers and are open but honest to our customers.
Okay, I hear you. Is to maybe calm things down and to have a rational, practical approach. And you are actually the experts on the topics that you are managing, so you know how long, when, and how to do it. With all respect that we owe to the customers and the clients. Nazar, Laetitia, do you want to express yourself about prioritization and last minute requests from other studio colleagues, clients?
Yes, I agree with Zdenek that we have some producers that are responsible of the project and the time we have, the delays, and other stuff like that. And of course, if there is a last minute request or a new feature that the customer wants, producers should be aware of that to be able to adapt the project to integrate that. Sometimes we will be able to do it quickly. Sometimes we have some other things that are more more important, and so we prioritize, for example, bugs and crash, and if we have something like that. But we are not against that the customer change the scope. Sometimes they change their mind and change a design or something. And like we said before, the communication is the most important thing. So we should be aware of the changements and the producers too. And then producers organize things and share information to the team, so everyone would be able to work on it. But we work in sprints, so often in many projects. So it's 2 weeks of work, and we prepare the 2 weeks at the beginning of the sprints. So if there is some changement during the sprint, it will be efficient at the end. So we will schedule it for the next sprint and the next 2 weeks of work, so that during 2 weeks we know what we have to do and we focus on it, and it helps to finish task and not start a lot of things at the same time.
Okay, I hear you. So it's also a question of organization and also of, let's say, ownership. So the producers are there to absorb the needed work to be done, and to discuss with you about the different sprints. So, okay, your team, you should probably focus on this one. So there's some alignment and then the action point. So yeah, Zdenek, you mentioned the communication. Laetitia, you mentioned the organization. Anything you want to add on that, Nazar, about prioritization?
So it depends from the project, actually, because there are some things. First of all, you need to negotiate some point where it's comfortable for you and for the client. So even everything urgent is urgent only on words of client or the words of people who raise these urgencies. You need to dig in how urgent, how many people is needed, what is the feature prioritization, and so on. As Zdenek and you said before, it's the producer's work mainly, mine too, to understand how we can help. And we can't just understand how we can help without knowing all the details. So after knowing the details, we compose the best possible solution, which may include internal resources, or moving one feature to prioritize another feature, for example, which we're already working on right now, or maybe reach other studio. As I said before, it's always a solution, or maybe figure out something else. Producers' work is very creative on those things, so you need to create some custom thing for client to specifically fit their need.
I see your point. Again, producers are key to actually align and define the priorities. To ask a very last, let's say, question about the global view about scaling, let's say with global expertise. So is it like something as a challenge, something that may worry you? Is that the moment that your studio and yourself are involved and start to work on something, are you the challenge? Is it like I don't want to mess with the existing parts? How do you manage it? So you appear about a very specific, moment, and sometimes it's not sometimes, usually it's taking like years, on big projects to be executed. So there is some point that you are involved at some specific part. So what is for you the biggest challenge, the first thing that you definitely need to tackle on before maybe get yourself into the rolling machine, let's say? I want to start with that.
Yeah, I say I can start. Maybe I will have slightly surprising response, but biggest challenge that I see in this situation is to explain our junior developers that they cannot tackle everything immediately in the first sprint, that they cannot understand everything in the first sprint, and we just help them, usually more senior developers, more experienced developers, help them to prioritize what to have a look at and what can be postponed because it's not necessary to achieve the particular or the first, second sprint. So this looks challenging, maybe.
That's interesting. Okay, so because as you have let's mention that again, plus 20 years of experience as Zdenek, so you pretty much know where you will go, and then when you are probably less seniority, you want to tackle many things at the same time, and it's probably managing the juniority of the team, which is for you the biggest challenge. So what about you, Laetitia and Nazar? What is the challenge when your studio or yourself, you get on board onto very large scale project and you appear on, let's say, instant T or the D moment, what is the biggest challenge for you?
For me, I think the biggest challenge is to find our place in the team. So when we are including in a big project, there is already a big team that work on it, and each part of the team has its own responsibility, its own subject. And when we are on board on it, the first thing is to identify our scope of work, what the client or the Virtuos Studio want us to do on the project, and what task we have to do, and also understand the processes that they use to adapt our work to them, to their process, to their team, to their roadmap, and yeah, the first thing for me is to be included in the team and understand what we will have to do.
Okay, so the understanding of the scope, what is the where you can act on and where you are actually needed, and to organize yourself and your team on that. Okay, that's super
Exactly.
interesting. Now I would like to ask, let's say, a last question referring to the global theme, which is how can we scale with our global expertise and to be able in a very fast-paced environment to make sure that as Virtuos, as a global company, we can be efficient, relying on the right studio, the right expertise. So let's imagine we talk about retrospective or post-mortem for you, Zdenek. Let's say that after this big, long years project, you would like to leave yourself a post-it, on your screen with the number one advice to manage actually the scaling of expertise, and what would be the advice for yourself? Who wants to start?
Okay, I think I can start. Not sure how long the note could be, but I would say do not panic, enjoy the challenge ahead.
That's a good one. That's a very good one.
I would maybe go next and say again, spend enough time on pre-production phase. It's a really important phase that usually is being not skipped, but not put as much attention as it should be. And don't afraid to add people and to create a wide shared common field of communication and acknowledgement. Usually it's Virtuos, as it's a little pain thing where everybody is super enclosed and everybody tries to give special permission on some one document that cannot be kind of shared. Everybody has NDAs. Yeah, it's risks, but you benefit more than you risk when you have this common field of thing, when everybody can be covered by everybody. And do not create bottlenecks and minimize verbal communication. This is one thing that in Virtuos is kind of another point. Verbal communication takes as much time as less effort it can actually create on the project. Yeah, we are kind of usually too lazy to type to everybody because we have the emails and all chats going on, but you can come back to the written communication as it is and as it always has been. You can come back to a chat, rewrite or reread something in your weekend or maybe somewhere else and generate a new idea about your project and your production. On verbal communication, on 2-hour call when everybody was exhausted and tired at the end, you cannot come back even with AI generated notes. You cannot come back properly and properly generate ideas about it. So that's my 3 things I would suggest on future projects.
Thank you, Nazar. What about you, Laetitia?
I think mine will be accept that everything will evolve because during projects the team can change, the scope can change, the client need can change, and we must not be afraid to change our process, our way to work, our direction. We need to adapt the project to the condition we have, and sometimes we want to keep everything like we decided at the beginning, but with experience I know that it's impossible, that the project will not change all along the time. So accept that we should evolve according to the project.
That's super interesting in that if I can try to summarize this almost 2 hours discussion that we have together, it's scaling with our global expertise. What actually I hear multiple times from you is communication. It's also, we cannot predict the unpredictable, but based on what we experienced before, there is like some things, process, organization that need to be set up, and maybe it may take some time. It's a bit like an old car, if I can make the metaphor. You need to make this car to turn the wheel, and then the car can actually start on, and then you can speed up in a way. I have the thing is a bit like the same. You need to analyze the car, to put this wheel, in front of the car, and it requires, we need to create the velocity first, and it requires a bit of friction first, and then what's going on, you can actually roll and you can speed up. So I think that when you did that before, you already started the engine to work. I know that it's going to take some time, but when we're going to be rolling, then we can make the car to speed up. Yes, we cannot avoid to have like works on the way, so we need to be careful. We need to have also a vision, and sometimes just popping up into our face. So I have the feeling that we are a company with a long and with expertise and experience. 20 years again. Many people, many studios. I have a feeling also that trust is also a word that popping out from your mouth multiple times. We need to trust people. We need to build also the trust. So this flow of communication that you mentioned also earlier, Nazar, needs to be efficient. We know which people we need to reach. You mentioned documentation also, Nazar. Zdenek, I still remember it resonates also into my mind. Address people the way that you want them to address you. It sounds like very simple, high philosophical things, but I think this is the simple things that we've built. You build, on your experience and expertise, that it makes sense. But when you didn't experience that before, and I think this is the strength actually of our company. We work on I think it's 1,500 projects, 900 clients, more than 20 studios all over the world. I'm not even sure that some of our competitors and also some other clients, they have this amazing, let's say, database of knowledge and experience. So I will probably finish here, and I will say a big thank you to you, Laetitia, Nazar, Zdenek. It was a real pleasure for me to have these discussions. My level of technicity is not that high, but actually what I hear from you based on your experience is amazing. So big thanks to you, and for you viewing this video. There is some other content that we plan to tackle, some big theme at Virtuos like that in some other videos. So thank you for your attention, thanks for your viewership, and see you later. And if you want to have a discussion with us, we are on LinkedIn, we are everywhere. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.